Okay, now I will give you some insight about how we are going to work all together to make the the optical follow-up of GW alerts in almost 1 year now. So this simple cartoon is more or less telling you how things are going to work, very simply. So as Sarah said, gravitational waves are detected not by GRANDMA. Of course, we don't have gravitational wave detectors in the GRANDMA collaboration. We would like to have, but it's a bit expensive. So there are three main gravitational wave detectors so far, but now a fourth one in Japan is going to join the observational campaigns. And those gravitational wave detectors are detecting gravitational wave signals from everywhere in the sky at any time. And so they provide some alerts to anybody who would like to listen to these alerts. So this is what GRANDMA is doing. We are listening continuously the alert channel of LIGO Virgo collaboration. LIGO Virgo are the main collaboration which are detecting gravitational waves. So once we receive an alert in the GRANDMA system, we process it and we store it somewhere, and we provide observation plans to our professional telescopes. And also we plan to also give you customized observation plans for your telescopes at your geographical sites where your telescope is. So these are our role for GRANDMA is to provide you the alert information and some observation plans to know where you have to point on the sky. Once you get the observation plan and the alert information, and you are interested in participating to this follow-up campaign, your role is to make some observations and to provide the images you are taking to the GRANDMA system, so that the GRANDMA then collaboration can analyze your images to find new transient sources, to measure the photometry of your transient sources. If you are not able to do this, we will be very happy to do this with you. So we have some detection pipelines in the GRANDMA collaboration. So we are able normally to process your images and to provide the list of transient candidates in your images if there are some transients. And the final steps after the follow-up campaign is finished is to publish the results if the results are interesting enough to be published in the scientific journals. So I will just give you some details of each steps very quickly. So first, to give you just an overview of what looks like an alert message from LIGO Virgo, it's a very dirty format. Well, it's a very convenient format actually to be processed by a machine, by a software, but not very cool to read by humans people. But just to give you an overview of what it looks like, we have plenty of information in this alert file. You have here, I just show you some of this information we can retrieve from these files. The name of the gravitational wave event that is named by LIGO Virgo collaboration. Some path where we can find public data and download the sky map. So the localization region where the GW sources is located in the sky. Some other values that gives you an idea of how significant is the detection by the gravitational wave detectors. We have plenty of other information, and our role in GRANDMA is to decode this message, to store all this information in our scientific database. And so this is the first step. Once we've done that, once we know that an alert is coming into the GRANDMA system, we are going to instantaneously notify the different users of the Kilauea program. We also instantaneously notify our professional telescope, of course. The main goal of why we do this instantaneously, it's like fast reactions always produce the best observation results. So the best is to be the fastest guys we can be. And so this would take a few seconds to notify you that an alert is arrived. in the Grand Bas system. You also, guys, I think some of you are maybe connected to some apps to receive the alerts, gravitational wave alerts. I think LIGO Virgo has developed an IP for iPhones at least. Then our role is to produce a list of pointings for every kilonova catcher astronomer. So you will have your own list of pointings based on where your telescope is located. And our main goal is to cover the maximum of the GW localization region. So I'll give you here on this SkyMap cartoon an example of how a gravitational wave localization region looks like. So this is the red dark spot here and here on the northern hemisphere and here on the southern hemisphere. So when it is darker, is when the color is darker, it means that here the probability of hosting the GW sources is higher than in the light part of the color here. As you can see, the localization region of a GW event is completely irregular. You can have a localization that is split into two hemispheres, so it's completely different of what we are used to observe in a classical astronomy. Like we don't have any just one pointing and that's finished. That's why also it's very interesting because there is a place for everybody, any kind of telescope, the big, the medium, and the small sizes telescopes, and all over the world, because as you can see, some telescopes in the northern hemisphere cannot observe this part of the GW era. So that's really interesting for all of you guys, is that there is a place for everybody to observe really some part of the GW region and to maybe be the winner, let's say. And so our goal is to provide you these tiles. So these are this is just an example, but these are some tiles we can produce to cover the GW localization region. And so those tiles actually will be so the coordinates of those pointings will be actually stored in a CSV file. So this is what we discussed also last time with you. I remember that some suggest to just provide a CSV file with the coordinates of the pointing, the center of the pointing, so the center of the image. We will give you also the probability that is so the how let's say the probability that your tile, so your image, contain the GW event. So we are able to calculate this. So we can give you this number. Of course, the higher is the probability, the higher is the chance to find the optical counterpart. And also in this CSV file, for each tile, for each image, for each tile here, you can have several galaxies inside. So we will give you the name of the galaxy and the coordinates of the galaxy that are inside each tile in this CSV file. We are actually building this CSV file right now. So, okay. So the interfaces you will have to retrieve all those information. So we plan to, for the alert notification, we plan to send the notification by mail, but you could choose to not want to receive by mail, because if you don't want to be spam or something like that, you will be able to choose to receive alerts by mail. By the Slack channel, we will send the alert notification by Slack. And of course, through the Kilonova Catcher website, you will receive also a notification on the website once a new alert is arrived. For the observation plans, the things the pointings, the list of pointings you will have to do, this is the same thing. We plan to send this by email, so this you could receive the CSV file by email. Not by Slack. We will not send this by Slack. I think it's too complicated. And of course, once you are connected to the Kilonova Catcher website, on your home page, you will be able to receive this your observation plan, and also hopefully to visualize it on the SkyMap visualization. Just a quick word on how we did these kind of things, alert notification and observation plan transfer during the last observational campaign, so the O3 GW run, April 2019, April 2020. So this is an example of our Slack channel. So many of you are, I guess, registered to this Slack channel at Ma Grandma. So here it was me here, Damien Turpin, and I was sending the alert information to all of the people who are registered to this Slack channel. And I was saying, "No, look at this. There is a binary neutron star merger detected by LIGO Virgo. Please look at this." And then our colleague Jean-Grégoire Ducoin was responsible to produce a list of pointings so that you can observe some galaxies inside the localization region of those alerts. Everything was made manually, so now we are going to replace all the humans in the loop by robots. We really want to automatize these kind of things. There is no need to have human in the loop for these kind of things. Of course, we will be always connected to the Slack channel to receive your remarks or inquiries, but the alert notification will be made by a robot, so it will be completely automatized. About the information you will get from the Kilonova Catcher website. So this is still under construction, as you could see at the beginning of the presentation. But of course, you could register to the website, to subscribe, sign up to the website, and register your telescope, observatory, and your instrument you are using on your telescope. These are very important for us because to produce an observation plan, we have to know where your telescope is located and which kind of instrument you have to know your field of view, basically, so that we can produce tilings that maximize, for example, the number of galaxies you have in each images. You could follow the live follow-up campaigns, the follow-up campaigns that are still under participating by every people, and you could also click on other campaigns you would like to participate to. Once you are in your home page, you can so follow-up campaign page. You can participate to a follow-up campaign once a new alert came up, so you will be notified on the website, and you could see that we will keep the possibility for you to participate to a campaign, but we will fix a countdown of I don't know how many days before we close the campaigns, because it's worthless to keep the campaigns open for 10 days. After 10 days, there is almost no chance to find anything. So we will keep campaign for 2-3 days, maybe 5 days, so that you can participate. And after these 5 days, we will close the campaign, and maybe new campaigns will appear as long as we receive new alerts. So you will be able to see the alert information, the name of the event, which kind of events have been received, is it a binary neutron star merger, etc. We will provide you also kind of ranking, a grade that we are currently building to give you an idea on how the follow-up of this alert is interesting or not for you. It depends on the observational constraints, the size of the localization region, the type of the event, etc., etc. We will explain this once we will have finished to build this follow-up interest grade. And so once you click on a GW alert you want to follow up, you should be able to visualize the localization region, to visualize and download your observation plan, etc., and etc. And this is just to give you an idea of what we would like you to have access as for the visualization of all the information on the SkyMap plot. So this is just a prototype, and this will be a SkyMap you will see so on your when you will be connected to an alert. And this is of course customized to your to the location where your telescope is. So you will see the zone that is observable for you at the location where your telescope is. At different time, you will be able to change the time, and so the zone will, so here the sky will move. So you will see different things. The main things you have to see is the observable zone on the sky you are able to see at the location you are. The gravitational wave SkyMap localization is here in orange. So you have a part here that is visible for you, for example, here. the moon here with a region that depends on the phase of the moon, so how much the moon is illuminated, Milky Way track, etc. And also we would like to also show where your pointing list on your customized observation plans are located with respect to the GW localization region. We hope to make this interactive and dynamic. We hope to be able to do this, but at least you will be able to have this at least a static visualization of things, and you will be able to change the visualization as function of time. And of course, you will be able to post images, but we don't know how we are going to do this right now, but it will be probably a button where you have to click on this and then typical things to post images, typical services. I will have to, I have low battery, so I will have to charge my battery a bit, but so image provider, this is your role here. So you are taking images and you will be able to send your images, but only through the Kilonova Catcher website. So we will not work as we worked during O3, where everybody had their own drive, Google Drive, or by mail or by Slack, etc. It was a bit complicated. So all of your images will be sent through the Kilonova Catcher website. So the delay, so the delay between you be notified you received an alert and the delay and the time you send your images, normally we expect to be the fastest possible, but of course it's on best effort basis, no pressure. You can do things as fast as you can, and there is no problem for this. So once your images are sent to the GRONMA system, the cloud system, we will trigger some software to analyze your images and to find some transient candidates inside. And the delay to give you the result of this analysis, it depends on how many images we receive, etc., etc. So it can be minutes to hours. So it depends. I mean, really. And also we have to, here at the end of the step here, we have to have a human in the loop. And so the last step is the analysis of your images, and possibly to publish those images into the result of this analysis in different scientific journals. So the image analysis consists of removing some false detections in your images we could have. So we have some software that are able to do this, to reject solar system objects, to search for transient by making catalog cross-matching, different imaging if we have reference images for your images. But if we don't have, we are able to make different images with catalog images, for example, from Pan-STARRS, for people who knows what Pan-STARRS is. It's an optical survey. And then we will provide a list of transient candidates sorting by their scientific interests. So this is a bit our scientific job for us to sort the transient by scientific interest. And then if there is very, very, very promising candidates, we will then request you to make additional follow-up images of those promising transients. This for now will be probably made manually because we will have to make visual inspection of all of these interesting transients. So once we find something interesting, we will notify you by Slack, by mail, by any kind of way we could do this. And finally, this is the publication. So for people who knows this, global coordinates network circulars. So these are the kind of scientific telegrams for the, let's say, professional astronomers, where people say, oh, I found something, I found a source, or where people send their alerts for gamma ray bursts for well, supernova. There is not so many supernovas sending through GCN, but so any kind of information related to the follow-up observation are posted here on real time, almost real time. And we have already published some GCN with some of you. And also, of course, some publication in the scientific journals. So you will be, if we use some of your images, you will be, of course, co-author of this publication at the same level of the GRONMA scientist, if we use your images. And I think we will also make always in the GCN circulars or in the publication of the scientific journal general acknowledgement to the Kilonova Catcher astronomers. In all our publication will be made. this was just a screenshot of the paper Sarah was mentioning, where some astronomers, some of you participate. So as you can see, you are all before my name. So I'm not lying. You are really at the same level of the scientist. So thank you thank you guys for participating to this program, and it's very good to have to see all those people connected to tonight. Final things, so tutorials and the guide for Transition Sky astronomers. So we have a lot of questions about how I should observe, what is the typical exposure I should use, what is the typical filter I should use to observe the gravitational wave sources, etc., etc. So we will propose educational contents and outreach contents. So Sarah will talk about this in a minute. And we will also provide a guide to help you to adopt the right behaviors, the right observational strategy for GW follow-up, and maximize your discovery potential. So it's not ready yet, but we are building it. And I hope that we will be also able to provide you a summary of your observational task in a kind of like a fact sheet format. But remember, it's really a best effort basis. So don't have any pressure, and you participate to any kind of follow-up campaign you want, and you provide any number of images you can. But it's a best effort basis. But keep in mind that the fastest is the best always in our kind of science. It's really a race over time. And we also have some from our GRANDMA YouTube channel, some scientific contents you can look at. These are seminars on gravitational wave astronomy in general, but it's
Is it possible he plugged his charger in but didn't turn it on?
Yeah.
Yes, seems there is a problem from Damien. Damien?
He runs out of battery.
Let's hope the robots are plugged in at all times.
So we have lost Damien.
I will contact Damien by phone to know the origin of the problem.
Maybe I think I can finish.
Yes, Sarah, you finish and I contact Damien.
Okay, super. Yes, and just my my computer is a bit okay. All right. No, me, I don't have problem of battery. So yes, so Damien was making advertisements about the YouTube platform, which is great. Okay, tac 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 tac. Oh. Okay, so then the next part is about waiting for offer, and I was thinking about that some of you can help us to build that program, because you understood that we are on the way to build that program. And one idea is that we in fact our intern Benjamin Chimbert produced in fact some kind of pedagogic information about GRANDMA, about how to observe kilonova, about how to observe with kilonova catcher, all the thing that Damien present you. And so one idea that was with your approach, your sensitivity, if you can sign in to look at what we the page, in fact the comments that this comment will be integrated into the new website, but if you can help us to review the text, if you think that, for example, there are things that are not well explained about the format, about the compression, and etc., etc. So please send me an email for reviewing the outreach that then will be posted into the new platform. Secondly was a bit to have more pedagogic also things, because sometimes maybe we explain is not the same level. And so what I was thinking also was to try to help you as that we call in fact in our jargon, you know, in science, journal club, so that it means that we discuss about one article or one results in a much more friendly way. And so my idea was that maybe some of you would like to read a scientific publication, and that we try to vulgarize it, and so that then we can make a report to you to understand more about the science and so on. And so I was thinking about the catalog paper from LIGO Virgo. So there have been a lot of, let's say, outreach about that. Maybe one of you would like to read it, and so contact me again, and I will be happy to help you to make a little report about that. Or I was thinking about the seminar to make a report to the community, Kilonova Catcher community, about the seminar from François Foucard, who is a professor somewhere I don't remember, in USA, and and so his presentation, it's in Grand Maillot, and it's very, very really nice. It's very high level seminar, and so it can be great to make some kind of report. It's not a report, but a presentation about that can help everyone to understand what it is behind under the hood about gravitational astronomy and mass ejecta and kilonova. And the last one, because I know that there are a lot of francophone, it was more to make a summary about the seminar done by Robert Moscovitch, the one that I talk about contrepartie électromagnétique des éléments donc gravitationnels, that he has done at IAP. And so it's also very nice because it is in French and it really summarizes the objective. So this is something that if you are interested to say, yeah, take the lead on that and explain to everyone, just contact me. And the last one that we would like, so we did not have time to do today, was also the photometric training. I see that some of you already asked me if there was already some tools to perform about the photometry, etc., to test the sensitivity of the telescopes to read that. And so our idea, remember, was to observe some variable sources. So maybe you have, because you're from other collaboration, maybe you have your favorite variable sources, and maybe you can participate to everyone, so that we can practice about the altogether about one variable sources and see how goes the photometry. So thank you.